I moved out of China in January. My whole family moved to Singapore. Now I'm back in Singapore.
I was fairly impressed with what you did when I found from the Faber's list IP about how to buy the masks. And I'm starting to collect some of the novel or interesting activities around this coronavirus using the technology or imagination to help crossing the border, doing something meaningful. I plan to compile a short video clip and share. Why did you start that?
I don't think I did it intentionally. No, I left US in the first week of March, and I came back to Singapore.
Okay.
And it was around that time two different contacts came to me. I have friends in US, in New York, because New York is starting to explode. And friends is saying, you live in China for so long. Do you know anywhere we can secure medical supply? China. I also got a phone call from the Chinese friend in Beijing, my old friends, and they say, James, you know, we can make a lot of money selling medical supply. But for me, I'm trying to help to bridge between the supply and demand. I'm particularly focused on bringing the right medical device. So I told my Chinese friend, I'm not interested to sell cheap stuff, you know, under quality. I want to find the medical supply that we can bring to the people in the front line, because these are the people who is at the most risk and need help, right? Which brought me to work with various governments, state government, and then that also brought me to the Europe and Latin America. The Chinese government giving aids through the related organization within Chinese government, like Jack Ma Foundation and so forth. They are one group of people that's moving medical supply. I know they have moved quite a bit of medical supply to last I heard was 82 countries. The second one that has done a lot is actually businessmen from different parts of the world who seek opportunity and have went to China to seize upon much needed medical supply. And a lot of these people get conned, right? Because we work with the Chinese, they wire money and they disappear. They are also successful trade and move around between the two. That is a pure business. And I do a little bit of that, but not too much. The third category, which is charity group. There are people who raise some funding, or people has 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, they want to donate to local hospitals. I hope to bring some of these people who do donation. No, I mean, because these are money that's raised for charitable cause. I help them to make sure that they actually don't get conned and buy the product and then ship it over. So I've done some of these. Then, but all the big ones are with government. The government, we've been talking. We talk a lot of government has inquiry. Unfortunately, government move very slowly, unlike businessmen and charity group. Because they are government, they have to be addressable to their procurement policy, their payment policy, and then they have specs. A lot of them are going through that due diligence process. I know they're desperate. I know some of these countries that I'm dealing with, they really need some of this supply. They're also moving. They keep saying they are desperate, but they keep asking for data and specs and samples. And if they wire the money and they got a con, a private businessman can do that, they lost some money, but the government lose some money, the people will be in trouble. And then I'm trying to be as patient as I can with the government, but the one that I'm really helping a lot right now is the charity. The government, I think, come in the next 2 weeks, about 10-ish, not 20. They are United States, they are in Europe. Working with Italy was 2-3 weeks ago will be Italy. I think the Italy went down, now it's okay now. For charity group, they tend to move more on masks and medical PPE like gowns and vessels, because these are simple things that they know is in lacking device. With government, mostly they deal with ventilators, because there's a serious lack of ventilators.
Sure.
One of the reasons why you say that, why the government moved very slowly is because the price of ventilators just went off the roof. It's like 5-10 times the normal price. And when I tell the government the price, they were shocked. They're like, isn't that used to be $10,000? Why is it $50,000? So it takes a time for them to actually go back and ask for the budget. The government is ventilators, but also all forms of medical supply. And there are also poorer countries that are setting up emerging center, like in Nepal. They need to build a new hospital, and then so it's everything from that's needed, that's supply in the hospital. I can't help with everything, but we try to do as much as we can. Ventilators, there are 62 approved ventilators by the Chinese government to be sold overseas. Only 7 make ICU ventilators. Another 10 plus make hospital grade ventilators, but not from critical patient. Among the ICU, the production is very low, 10,000 a month. The aggregated demand that I've seen today is no less than 100,000 units. So China cannot fulfill the demand.
Right.
And they couldn't ramp up enough because China doesn't have the capacity to build the ventilator on their own. There are components they need to ship from Europe, from Germany, from Italy, from Spain, from Switzerland, and also from Japan. With the factory shutting down, they also can't get supply, so they can't ramp up. So because of the lack of demand supply, the price went up a lot. We moved some ventilators, but the price is really expensive. Very few government is willing to pay that price. Charity group raised 100,000. They may only buy one ventilator. They thought they can buy 10. When I told them, no, this is enough for maybe one ventilator maximum to their shop. Unfortunately, people have to make decisions, right? But we did move some ventilators, not at the price that I like, but poorer countries like Romania and Nepal, I try to help them as much as can, not asking anything in return. But it's still a challenge because all medical supplies price has gone up. Ventilators they need also gone up. I wish I have money, then I could just buy them for them, but I don't. I can tell them what's the market price in China, and they have to decide. So poor country is in a bind. Countries that have money like Singapore, like Japan, even United States, China, but it's much better position. Whereas countries like some of these poor countries really need to make this. If I buy the mask, then I have no money for ventilators.
How would you measure your efforts outcome or real effect? Do you see tangible outcomes?
I'm not one person. I have a group of friends that's working with me. In this work that we're doing in medical supply, I'm not a big player there. Yeah, I wish we could do more, but no.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, you're not the original expert on these areas, right?
No,
but having seen the big gap between, say, supply and demand, you felt compelled, right?
Because I'm not doing this purely for business. There are businessmen that came to me and say, "Hey, can you help me to buy sanitation? Or we can sell this in so and so." Making money was not my driver here.
How many of you or people like you are there? Not too many.
My team in China, we have about 10 people. I have a friend who is my main partner. 10 people working with me. They are the one that will go down to the factories and check out the goods, find out the supply, and they will tell me the price. And
more or less pro bono or voluntary.
They are half. So for poorer country, they waive the fee. Yeah, but for a country that can pay, they're going to charge that 5-10% on top of that for the work they're doing, right? Then around the world, I'm in contact with about 20-30 people from different parts of the world.
Do you see similar activities, or what would you suggest?
There's a lot of people who work on coronavirus on a pro bono. Actually, there's another very good friend of mine. He's also doing very interesting work. He's organizing through the internet, right? Experts around the world from United States, Europe, doctors and different expertise, technologies coming together to find solution to the coronavirus. The virus is a common problem for everyone, and to the extent I can understand, a lot of people are still angry with the Chinese government. I feel it would be better if we segregate the angriness with the Chinese government and also getting medical supply from China. I can see that they need those medical supply. This angriness or political reason, they refuse to buy from the Chinese. At this moment, we need to be a united front, right? To fight against this epidemic and to overcome the problem. there'll be a time that we talk about who is responsible. The time right now is to ensure that we all come out better off. I'm one man doing a lot of people work, so I can only do what I do. I think there will be other crises that come along, right? Including because of this coronavirus, there will be other problems that need to be that food shortages. China don't have lack of food. China has a separate problem, which is in the logistic, because of the shutdown of logistic food. With the world shutting down this month, we will see that same problem. Like Singapore, for example, and Malaysia border shut down. If we shut down for too long, maybe more than a month, food will have a shortage because a lot of food gets imported from Malaysia. How do we keep the logistic of critical supply, not just only medical, but also food, going so that people can get to the basic necessity, food, water, and medical supply. I think it's important to keep this logistic alive.
Well, Singapore, Korea, Taiwan are largely perceived as fairly successful in dealing with coronavirus.
Not really. Singapore is now in a crisis. I can't comment on Japan, Korea, or Taiwan. Singapore, the situation has taken a downward trend 2 days ago. Particularly, there's a group of cluster of patients in the dormitories, and particularly that's why we'll see numbers, and the numbers will get worse in the next few days.
Right.
So it's the infection right now is about 200 plus per day. It will get higher and higher. Singapore only shut down home quarantine. They call it the circuit breaker about 3 days ago.
There's some myths created perhaps, but you also have some technology tracing the people. Is that in place already?
Yeah, Trace Together, I know there's a team in Singapore that does that, and they've been contacting with a lot of people around the world. I think 50, 60 countries has contacted them. I think it's important, right?
With Apple and Google today or yesterday?
Something like that, yeah. We Trace Together, working with them. You'll get there.
Great, James. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, bye.